One thing I've noticed from watching a lot of debates is that the best debaters don't simply win by just talking more. They win by pinning their opponent down with questions they can't answer. Watch what happens when Jay Dyer does just that to Brian Shapiro and corners him with one simple question. Because this seemingly innocuous question exposes the fatal flaw that destroys Brian's entire argument.
You decide to think that way. You decide to think that if somebody is different than you, I assume you're straight. If somebody is different,
I decide this, but gay people don't.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
I just told you
you're agnostic. Couldn't everything be conditioned then?
There are people who are gay.
Could I be conditioned to believe?
There are people who are.
Could I be conditioned to my religion?
Based off of this one question, Jay wins this entire exchange by exposing a serious contradiction in Brian's worldview. This isn't because he proves Christianity is true, but because Brian never fully explains why one set of beliefs can be conditioned and one is intrinsic. Just watch as Jay fully fleshes out this contradiction.
You think religion is genetic?
I'm saying if that's the case, in your view.
Religion is genetic? Religion is a choice.
Do you not understand that?
I do. Religion is a choice.
Why can't I be conditioned to my religion?
Okay, because sexuality is different than religion. You see, for example.
Why can't I be conditioned? You're an atheist, right? Okay. Or an agnostic?
No, I'm not.
You're an agnostic, right?
I believe that there's a higher power.
Okay, but
it goes back to what I said earlier.
But if I'm raised in religion from my earliest days, being taught about, say I'm baptized as an infant, let's say I'm brought up in Sunday school from the, age 4, whatever.
Yeah.
Why would I not be conditioned in the same way?
First of all, I believe that's wrong. My worldview on that
that's not the question.
Second of
all,
why
would it be any different?
Here's why.
In your
because
view.
I think most people who are gay would tell you. And by the way, I am a straight man. I don't speak for gay people, but I think most people gay would tell you it's a little bit different.
The fact that, again,
hold on. It's a little bit different to switch a religion or say, by the way, I know people in my life. One woman who was a pastor, she's now an OnlyFans model. She's a great person.
None of this is answering the question.
She made a choice to get out of that lifestyle and that religion and go live her life.
Brian talking about knowing a pastor who became an OnlyFans model. That's not the point. These anecdotes that Brian's listing aren't answering Jay's question. He's still sidestepping the fact that Jay has caught him in a contradiction.
Okay.
Most people who are gay would tell you it's not just a snap of the finger. Okay. If you're born, I believe, gay and you want to turn straight.
So those choices are conditioned and they're not actual free will choices.
Do you not believe in biology?
You're not even letting me finish it because this is a killer for your argument. And I never even noticed this until literally in this debate.
Jay's doing a classic move here where he's adopting Brian's worldview for the sake of argument. So he's not claiming that religion is conditioned. He's asking Brian to explain why his reasoning doesn't apply equally.
So you can be conditioned to believe or to have those proclivities, but even though I go through the exact same situation, I'm guilty for the choice that I made for the religion, which is identical to the conditioning, according to you.
No.
So why is one of them free will and the other one not?
I'm going to be very clear again. Here's where I think you're guilty of. And this goes for any religion and anybody. When you judge somebody.
What's wrong with judging?
Okay. I think it's wrong to judge people.
Oh, well, that's great, but your ethics are relative.
Okay. So when you judge an entire group of people because they are different than you because of the way they look or their sexuality, that is what bigotry is.
What's wrong with being a bigot?
Well, I think that makes you an asshole if you're a bigot.
Well, but I mean, those are just your own personal taste.
Well, you're right. Bigots are great people.
So personal
That's a great
taste,
argument.
No, I'm just saying
bigots are no, you're right. Bigots are wonderful people. I shouldn't judge bigots.
This is why philosophy is good, because if you learn philosophy,
this is why religion is bad.
I want to make sure you guys understand what Jay's saying. He's not advocating for bigotry or saying bigotry is a good thing. He's asking Brian, who is morally subjective or a moral relativist, to explain why bigotry is a bad thing according to his own worldview. Because people who are moral relativists that view morality as subjective don't actually have a justified position for saying why something is wrong. They just kind of assume it is. And as you can expect, this goes right over brain dead Brian's head.
Because he's trying to defend bigots.
I never made a religious argument. All I said was that
when you
there's no
judge,
difference between...
Why is it so hard for you to admit
but
that when
if
you
my
judge,
judgments are my conditioning, then I'm not morally accountable on your worldview.
Doesn't the Bible say not to judge?
But if your worldview is correct,
does the Bible say not to judge?
If your worldview is correct, my choices are my conditioning, so I'm not liable or accountable.
Does the Bible say not to judge?
It says judge with righteous judgment.
Yeah, exactly. So you think this is righteous? Taking all group of people?
Yeah, because I have a consistent basis to judge actions, not the people groups.
I believe God
you
judges.
Don't have a basis.
I believe God can judge people. I don't know what God. Whatever God you.
Then how would you know he judges people?
Donald Trump might be your God. I don't know.
Then how would you know he judges people?
Okay. Well, it's a saying. Okay. But I will
So
tell
it's
you
not a
this.
real God,
I don't
it's
even
a
know if
saying?
God exists. I don't know. And you need
And how do you know he judges people?
Neither do you.
How do you know it's
Neither
wrong
do
to
you.
judge people?
I made a statement as what you would say, a joke.
How do you know
but-
that nobody knows that God exists? How do you know that?
We don't know for sure. Nobody
But
knows.
now it's a universal claim. How do you know that no one knows?
Where's your evidence that God exists?
How do you know that I didn't make a universal claim.
Mhm.
You did. How do you know that no one knows?
There is no direct evidence that there is a God.
But
that
how do you
exists.
know that no one
Because
knows?
no one's presented it. That's
So
why.
do you know what a universal claim is?
Yes, nobody's
What?
presented it.
What's a universal claim?
Universal claim is what I just said.
Which is what?
Spoiler alert, Brian has no fucking idea what a universal claim is.
Nobody has direct evidence that God exists.
And it's what? About all states and all people at all times. That's
Yeah.
a universal claim.
Sure.
Do you have access to universal states of affairs?
If you disagree with me, then tell me your evidence that
Do
God
you
exists.
have access to universal
Again,
states of affairs?
Give me your evidence that God exists.
Do you?
You could make.
So
you
it's a
could play
tu quo
word games
quo.
with me.
So
Tell me
all
your evidence.
philosophical questions are word games, even though you admitted that the law of non-contradiction
Does God
is
exist,
not a
Jay?
word game.
Your Christianity does God
course.
exists, right?
Of course.
Where's your evidence that God
The
exists?
transcendental argument.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that's direct evidence.
Yeah,
That's
it's a logical argument. Sure.
and hell and heaven exist, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Where's your evidence of that too?
because it's part of the worldview.
Gotcha. So your worldview, you know for sure. And if
I
I
have
say,
the highest degree of
and if I say,
certitude that one could have.
okay, you can have the highest degree. It doesn't make it true, but
I didn't say it did.
we don't know if heaven or hell exists.
Right,
I
that's
don't
great,
know.
but
You don't know.
But you
And for you to make that
but you
claim, I
cl-
think is insane.
But you made the claim that
Yeah.
you have universal knowledge that no one knows that, and you can't know that even
There-
on your own position.
there
So
is
you're going
no-
out of the bounds of what you can
There-
even do on your world.
There is no more evidence that God exists.
That's
than
great that you
Bigfoot.
keep saying that, but
I'm sorry, you
can't
don't have
actually-
the evidence.
No, but I didn't make the claim that no one knows. You did.
Your entire
Did
life
you
is
say
based
no one
on your
knows?
religion.
Did you say no one knows?
Your entire life is based
Did
on your
you say
religion,
no
which I
one
think
knows?
is a fairy tale.
That's
Quite
great.
frankly,
That's great, but you haven't given an argument for the
I have actually.
the
I have
fairy tale
actually.
that you believe in, like free will.
I have actually. You
What's
have.
the, how do you? What's the proof
You
of free will?
have the freedom to believe in what you want to believe in. I'm
But-
not denying you
But
that
if
freedom.
I go with Sam Harris or Daniel Dennett, maybe I'm just conditioned to think I have free will and all choices are deterministic.
Again, you have.
How do you know that free will exists?
One more thing I wanted to revisit from this previous section was the difference between subjective morality and objective morality. These can also be called moral relativism and moral absolutism. So subjective morality is morality that depends on the perception of the subject. This means its truth is found in the preferences, feelings, attitudes, biases of the subject or the person they're talking about. In this case, Brian. This could be things like saying murder is wrong because I dislike it, being a bigot is bad because it makes you an asshole, or human flourishing is good because we value it. The two key takeaways from subjective morality are that it's inherently circular, and what's morally good or bad changes based on the whims of the subject. On the other side of the coin is objective morality, also called universal morality or moral absolutism. This outlook views moral claims as either objectively good or objectively bad, regardless of individual preferences or consensus by society. Like torturing children is inherently wrong, even if society deems it to be okay. Or slavery would still be wrong, even if every culture on earth endorsed it. Think of it this way. Objective morality is like saying gravity is true regardless of whether or not humans discovered it, and subjective morality is like saying vanilla is the best kind of ice cream. Jay is a moral absolutist. Things are objectively morally right or objectively morally wrong. But Brian, man, I don't think he even knows whether he thinks morality is subjective or objective. I think even engaging in this sort of conversation proves how far out of his depth Brian is. Like, you can tell Brian's pretending to understand what Jay's saying, but everything is going right over that shiny bald head of his.
Okay. What do you mean? You have.
How do you know that it exists?
Right now-
because you believe in
Right-
metaphysical things that you can't justify.
Okay.
You want me to justify?
So
Listen, there's the problem with saying to a theist that you have to justify it. You believe in logic, universals,
Okay.
things that you
So,
can't
Jay-
justify, like free will.
so Jay,
So you're not going to answer that.
I'm going to answer it.
Do you believe in free will?
I'm going to answer it the way I want to. Okay.
Okay, it
You
has to be a
have-
good answer.
You have freedom. Well, in your estimation. I mean,
No, in anybody's. That's how a debate
no,
works.
No,
Okay,
Jay,
well, if you want to use fallacies, you can
Jay,
do that.
I
sure.
understand. I understand how a debate works, Jay. Just because you've been doing it for 25 years doesn't mean you have to be
So
condescending. to
what's
me.
free will?
I understand that there's a lot of people on the left that are very nice to you when you debate them, and you're very condescending. That doesn't work with me. So you don't have to do that.
Just asking
I've
you
been
what free
very
will
respectful
is.
to you considering the circumstances.
I'm just asking what free will is.
and I'm asking you to let me answer
Okay.
in the way I want to answer it respectfully. You have the free will, I'll use your terminology, to believe in what you want to believe in. You have the free will to believe in your God, your religion. I usually don't get along very well with extremely religious people.
Mhm.
I have almost nothing in common with some of these people. I think it's a mental illness. That's my opinion.
Mhm.
Now, If you form and live your life based on your religion, you have the right to do that. But nobody knows if there's heaven or hell. You
But how
don't
do you
know
that.
You
just
don't
keep
know.
saying
You're
that.
making the case that there's a heaven or hell. I'm not making that case. What I'm saying, Jay, is that there
your
might be
argument for a universal claim.
Jay, I'm saying that there might be heaven or hell. I don't know.
No, that's not what you said.
No.
You said
Hear
no
me.
one knows. Those
Okay.
are two different claims.
I don't know. That's the way I answer it.
You
I
said
don't
no
say-
one knows, and now you're saying I don't know. Those are two different
Nobody
claims.
knows.
So
Nobody
now
knows.
it's universal.
Nobody
You keep
knows
going
for
back and
sure.
forth.
Jay, there might be heaven and hell. I
So
don't
is
know.
it-
I don't
Is
know.
it I don't
and
know
neither
or
do
no?
you.
Is it I don't know or
Nobody
no one
knows. Nobody knows.
And in this instance, Brian's sliding between two claims without even realizing it. I don't know if there's a heaven or hell, and nobody knows there's a heaven or hell. One of those is his personal opinion, his personal subjective claim, and the other one is a universal claim, which he could not possibly know. Jay's calling him on it, and Brian has no idea what Jay's even talking about. It's truly a masterclass in how to be totally fucking clueless.
Nobody can provide me direct evidence that
understand
heaven or hell
that
exists. Nobody can.
In philosophy, those are two different claims. So which one is it?
Nobody on the planet that's a human being.
Okay. How do you know that nobody
Because nobody's
knows?
presented direct evidence. That's why.
That's not
Yes.
a proof that no one knows.
Yeah.
That just means that in your limited experience empirically, you've never verified that.
If
So you don't actually know if no one knows.
Okay, if you know for sure that
So
there's
you're asserting things that you
okay,
don't know.
somebody would have to present clear and present evidence
But the fact that
that
they haven't
Satan exists.
But the
heaven
fact
and
that they
hell
haven't
exists.
done it yet doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you know that no one knows.
Then nobody has provided evidence, which means nobody
So
knows
your
for sure.
argument is a bad argument
Okay,
because you
so
can't
help me
justify the
understand.
universal
So
claim.
Jay, help me understand then. You believe that heaven and hell exist. Can you provide me some
I'm
evidence?
waiting for you to give a good argument.
Okay, I just did.
No, you didn't.
So I'm asking,
You
prove me wrong right now.
contradicted.
Jay, prove me wrong right now. You're a Christian.
Mhm.
You believe that heaven and hell exists.
Mhm.
Give me direct evidence right now in your belief
Mhm.
that heaven and hell exist, please.
The argument is the impossibility of the contrary. Your worldview doesn't make sense of knowledge.
My question
doesn't
wasn't
make
about
sense of
worldview.
ethics.
Hold on, Jay.
The argument
Jay,
is
Jay,
a worldview argument.
Jay, my question
The
wasn't about
transcendental
Jay,
argument is a worldview
Jay,
argument.
my question wasn't about worldviews. I'll ask it again.
My argument is a worldview argument. So
Okay.
when you ask me the question, I'm
So
going to respond
from
with
religion,
worldview.
based on religion. So based on your worldview,
I
what is
believe
it?
that logic is based in
Right.
religion.
Okay. So give me that logic. What is your evidence that would lead you to believe from
The
your
evidence
worldview?
is a logical argument called the transcendental argument. That is the argument.
Okay. It's just a belief. I believe in the tooth
No, it's
fairy.
not. It's a
Yeah,
logical
my
argument.
worldview tells me the tooth fairy exists.
Well, you
It's what
believe
my
in free
religion
will,
tells
but
me.
you don't have a basis for
My
any
religion
idea what it is.
my religion
You
tells
kept
me
appealing to free will and
my
choice.
religion tells me that when I lose a tooth, I'm going to get $100
So in
underneath my
philosophy,
pillow.
if you took a philosophy class, you would learn that free will is a metaphysical position that a lot of philosophers and atheists, I'm not saying you're an atheist, but people like Daniel Dennett or Sam Harris, they don't believe in free will.
So hold on. Let's
So
start
I'm
over.
just trying to say that you're
Let's start
asserting
over.
things like free will
You
that
are-
you don't have a
okay,
basis for.
So hold on. It'll be 30 seconds here. You are making the case, in your opinion, based on your
No, I didn't argue opinion.
hold on, worldview, that heaven and hell exists.
Mhm.
My opinion is I don't know.
But that's
None
not
of
what
us
you
do.
said.
Okay.
You said
I've
no
said
one
that-
knows, which is not
okay,
an opinion.
yeah.
That's a universal
No
claim.
one knows for sure whether heaven or
That's
hell
a
exists.
universal claim.
Okay, so Jay,
versus an opinion. Those
Tell
are
me
two
where
different
you're
things.
getting this from your worldview. Give me some evidence that heaven and hell exist.
The
You
evidence
can't.
is the logical argument called the transcendental argument.
So real quick, guys, because Jay references the transcendental argument a lot, here's the 30-second version of what that is if you don't already know. He's asking what makes things like logic, reason, or even objective morality possible in the first place. Things like morality and logic aren't concrete. You can't hold them in your hand or design an experiment to gather empirical data to prove them. But we do agree that they are real things. So Jay argues that if those things are objectively real, they need an objective foundation. And that foundation is something transcendent, or God, hence the name, the transcendental argument.
So evidence is not just like a physical object. There are logical arguments that are non-physical that are also evidences. That's what you're missing in what I'm arguing.
So again, I go back to what I said earlier, and this is my issue with religion in general. Every religion.
But you're a religious person, Brian.
Huh?
You're religious.
I never said I was a religious person.
No, you're rabidly religious about things like free will, which you have no basis for.
I'm not a religious person, and I don't believe in the tooth fairy, and
But
I don't
I
live my
make-
life based on a
but
religion.
Free will is like
I live my life based
free
on
will is the same thing as the tooth fairy.
I
The
live my-
tooth fairy
Okay.
and the free will are the same.
Yeah. I live my life based on the way I was raised, the way my parents raised me.
But none of that.
And I don't hide
none of
behind
those
a
things are
religion.
arguments.
I don't hide behind.
Those are assertions.
I don't hide behind a religion attacking all gay people, which I believe that
This
is an
an
attack,
emotional appeal.
or attacking. Yeah, you're right. It's emotional. Just judging entire groups of people, which it says don't to do in the Bible. You're judging.
No, what you said was an emotional.
All
appeal.
women are more emotional, or gay
These
people are
emotional
sinners.
appeals.
No, these are judgments on large groups of people
No,
that you're
your
making.
argument right now is an emotional appeal, not the statements.
You are making judgments
Correct.
about groups of
Yeah, but there's
people
nothing
because they're
wrong
not
with that
like
in my
you.
worldview. You just don't like it.
No, I just think you hide behind your religion
Well,
to
but-
defend your bigoted.
That's not a good
bigotry.
argument. That's an ad hominem
No,
about my motives.
no, it's not. I think you
It
hide.
is.
I think people like
The
you.
fact that you think that I'm doing something for bad motives is
Yes,
a
I do.
ad hominem motive argument, which is not relevant to a
When
debate.
you
So here's another pattern with Brian's argumentative style. He's never actually addressing Jay's worldview or saying why it's incorrect. He's basically just doing one big long ad hominem, which Jay rightly called him out on. Ad hominem is a logical fallacy that gets thrown around a lot, but oftentimes it actually gets misapplied. Ad hominem doesn't mean you're insulting somebody. Insulting or making fun of people in debate's fine. Ad hominem is when you attack the person's character or credibility instead of refuting their argument. This is exactly what Brian's doing. And this argumentative style is very consistent with other leftists. Instead of actually contending with your argument, they'll throw constant ad hominem attacks at you. Oh, you don't want rampant illegal immigration? You must hate brown people. You don't like DEI or think it's good? It's because you're racist. Oh, you don't think trans women, aka biological men, should compete against women in sports or be in bathrooms with little girls? It's because you're bigoted. And the list goes on and on. But this is why leftist viewpoints are so easy to counter. They're built on nothing but logical fallacies, and rarely ever do they have any sort of justification or logical principle underneath them. It's almost like it's impossible to provide a justification for why something's good or bad when your worldview is subjective. Who knew?
judge an entire group of
What's
people,
wrong with judging people?
it's called bigotry. And you don't think
But
there's
so what?
so
In
there
your
you go.
worldview,
There you go.
In your
There
worldview,
you
these
go.
things are all subjective
There you
anyway.
go. If it's okay,
In your view, it's subjective.
in your view, it's okay to be a bigot. In your view, it's okay
But
to
that's
judge
not
people.
inconsistent in my view.
No, you're right. You're consistently a bigot. That's
But
what
that's
you are.
not inconsistent in my view for a
We
debate.
could use word games.
Your position is inconsistent because you
I'm
have
very
ethical.
consistent.
No,
I'm
you're not.
very consistent.
No,
I'll explain
no.
once again. No, I'm extremely consistent.
Okay.
I don't judge people based on sexual
Okay.
orientation. I don't judge people based on color of skin, sexual
Right.
orientation, or gender. I would never tell somebody
No,
that doesn't
the
look like
logic is inconsistent.
I would never tell
Not
somebody that doesn't look like me
Not
that
that.
you belong in the kitchen. It's a
The
bigoted point of
basis
view.
for your position is what's inconsistent, not the position.
What, having a moral compass and caring about all people?
Yeah. What's the moral
Yeah,
compass?
yeah. Not telling other people what to do
Yeah,
with
but
their
why is that wrong?
lives. Because you're a bigot. You tell other
Yeah,
people
so
what to
that's a
do.
circular argument. It's a fallacy.
You make assumptions about people because they're not like you and they don't look like you.
I know that you don't
It's
like
terrible.
that. That's great. I understand that it's not preferable.
Yeah, most
You
people don't.
like it.
Most decent
That's
people don't
another
like that.
fallacy. That's a massive.
It's a
appeal.
fallacy.
It is
Okay,
correct.
okay.
So in logic,
So all women belong in the kitchen. All gay people are sinners. They're all bad because it's my worldview, because I
Everything-
hide behind my Christianity.
You could
I
say-
know that
again,
heaven and hell are
you
real.
haven't given a basis for why any
Yeah.
of that's wrong.
I've given a very simple basis. You
Yeah, but
judge
it's not,
people,
it's not a
Jay.
good philosophical
Jay,
argument.
I don't care whether you think it's
Well,
philosophical.
you're
or not.
judging me.
You're
You're judging me right now.
I'm judging you right now. You have the right to
You
think
judge
the way
that it's
you
wrong
think.
to be a bigot.
You think
You judge that it's wrong to be a bigot.
when you judge a group of people based on their
You
sexual
judge all
orientation.
Christians as bigots.
No, I don't, because not all Christians think like you.
Okay, but what's wrong with being a bigot and judging people to be
Do
a
you-
bigot when
do-
you don't have a basis for
Do
your
you
ethics?
understand that there are
You
plenty
don't
of,
have a basis
there
for your
are-
ethic.
there
It's
are-
subjective,
there are
Brian. That's
plenty
the
of-
kill
there-
shot.
Remember what I said at the start, guys, that Jay's not trying to prove Christianity. He's just asking Brian to provide a foundation for his claims. Well, as you saw, Brian absolutely failed. It really reminds me of a quote I saw in the original debate where it says 47 tactical nukes versus coughing baby. I forget who posted it, but shout out to you, because that's exactly what this debate was. Brian was so far out of his league, and against a top-tier debater like Jay, he was helpless. And ultimately, everything Brian threw at Jay was completely fallacious. It was constant ad hominem, dodging the question, and circular reasoning. But at a foundational level, he just didn't understand the arguments Jay was making. For example, look at the word consistency. Jay said, "I'm being consistent," and Brian says, "Well, you're consistently being a bigot." He doesn't understand that Jay means logically consistent in a philosophical sense, not consistent as in happens repeatedly. And look, you don't have to agree with Jay's worldview. You can be an atheist, you can be agnostic, whatever you prefer, whatever floats your boat, man. But if you're trying to make an argument based on objective moral judgments, you need to have a justification and a grounding for making those judgments. And that's the question Jay kept asking. And I think thinking about this topic is beneficial for all of us. It's not just for people in a philosophy debate against a heavy hitter. You understand what you think. Think about why you think that. The lack of foundation for a lot of your beliefs might just surprise you. Anyways, folks, that's it for me today. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to watch this. And if you wouldn't mind, please hit the like and subscribe button. We're a growing channel, and I would really appreciate the support. It means the world. Thanks, guys. Are you looking for more content like this? Hit that subscribe button and check out the link on screen. Come on, you know you want to do it.